On 14th of May, 964, a pope died the sort of death usually invented by his enemies after the wine runs out. John XII, born Octavian, was barely out of adolescence when he took St. Peter's throne, and even friendly history struggles to clean the room. One old account says the Lateran itself was spoken of as a brothel. Another says war and hunting suited him better than salvation. Then came the final scandal, a sudden collapse in another man's bed, or a stroke in the act, or perhaps a husband with excellent timing. A pontiff who crowned emperors, broke oaths, and turned Rome into a vendetta did not receive a martyr's ending. He received a rumor so perfect it refused to die. The strangest part is not that a pope died in sin, it's who needed that story to be true. Yesterday's Craziness presents The Strangest Deaths from Throughout History, a monthly video celebrating someone's untimely demise in a strange, crazy, or interesting way. On 14th of May, 964, a pope died, with scandal still clinging to the sheets. Some said stroke, some said a husband with better timing than mercy. Liudprand of Cremona claimed the devil struck Pope John XII on the temples, while he was with another man's wife outside Rome. However it happened, the end was pure medieval irony. The Vicar of Christ brought down not by army, plague, or dagger, but by a death report so lurid it sounds invented, which is fitting, because parts of it may well be. John XII began as Octavian, son of Alberic II, the strongman who treated Rome as family property. In 954, Alberic reportedly made the Roman nobles swear at St. Peter's that his son would inherit the papacy when the seat opened. On 16th of December 955, at about 18, Octavian became Pope John XI, the youngest pope in history, and only the second pope known to change his name on accession. The office landed on a young aristocrat who seems to have preferred horses to homilies. One source says war, and the chase suited him better than church government, and before long he had already been defeated by Duke Pandulf of Capua. Yet this reckless pope helped build the order that would trap him. In February 962, he crowned Otto I and Adelaide emperor and empress. Otto swore to recognize John as pope and ruler of Rome. John swore fidelity in return. Then Otto issued the Diploma Ottonianum, confirming papal lands while tightening imperial control over future papal elections. John soon opened secret talks with Adalbert and sent letters toward Hungary and Constantinople. The alliance that was supposed to protect the papacy started looking more like a hostage arrangement with incense. When Otto returned to Rome in November 1963, John fled, and the Synod at St. Peter's turned accusation into political theater. He was charged with sacrilege, simony, adultery, incest, even murder. Liudprand preserves the proceedings with delight. Cardinal priest Peter claimed he had seen the Pope celebrate Mass without taking communion. Others said John ordained a deacon in a stable. Maybe true, maybe partisan venom, but the result was real enough. John was deposed. Leo VIII was rushed into place. John came back in February 964 after Otto left and took revenge with the kind of energy he had rarely shown for reform. One enemy lost his right hand. Another was scourged. Another lost nose and ears. Then, only months later, the whole drama slid into black comedy. John died outside Rome during an adulterous encounter. Liudprand says the devil struck him. Later retellings gave the devil a more domestic face and called him an outraged husband. Gregorovius thought apoplexy sounded more likely. New Advent preserves the rumor that John lingered 8 days before dying. For a man whose reign was defined by scandal and reckless appetite, it was the sort of ending that feels less like biography than satire. His death solved nothing. The Romans immediately elected Benedict V and, according to Liudprand, swore they would never abandon him. Otto answered with siege and restoration, bringing Leo VIII back and leaving even the succession disputed. That is what makes John XIV's death more than a dirty anecdote. It is also a warning about who gets to write disgrace. We have almost no contemporary Roman papal biography for his century. We have enemies, outsiders, and men with motives. So perhaps John died exactly as legend insists, under divine or marital correction. Or perhaps Europe simply preferred that ending because it was too perfect to resist. The universe, it seems, had already chosen a verdict. If John the Panther lived like Scandal, he would die like one too. If you liked what you watched, please like and subscribe. We post interesting and crazy stories from throughout history every Wednesday and Saturday. Yesterday's craziness, because yesterday was crazy too.